played a little cute, and we just gave them, right out of a tariff money, cost us nothing, right out of the hundreds of billions that we've taken in, we gave the farmers a little help, $12 billion, and they are so happy. And all they want is a level playing field. And now it's happening. And the tariffs are making them rich. It's going to be, you're going to see what happens over the next 2 years. It's like a miracle is taking place. But we've taken in.
Shouldn't need to tell you this, but if you need to unveil a multi-billion-dollar bailout for American farmers because of the suffering that they have incurred or because of your economic policy, it's probably time to admit that that economic policy has been a failure. That is literally what Trump is doing. Tariffs have crippled American farming. Who could have guessed that making it more expensive to trade with America would just make America's trading partners look elsewhere? Believe it or not, wheat and soybeans are products that exist in other parts of the world that aren't run by crazy far-right dementia-ridden dictators. To make it worse, it's not even a solution to the current problems. Trump is offering is a one-time payment to try and make ends meet for farmers, while continuing to threaten America's allies with further tariffs, which is only going to make the problem worse. The White House even had the gall to lie about the reasons for this bailout. Years of unjustified trade actions, blah blah blah. Go listen to the testimony of any American farmer and they will tell you that things were not as bad as they are before Trump's tariffs. Farming industry can be a difficult one, but they weren't all on the edge of bankruptcy before Trump decided to declare economic warfare against the rest of the world. This is a bailout. Bailout obviously being that thing you do with a ship when it is sinking, just like the American economy is under Trump and his ridiculous tariffs. You should be insulted by anyone who tries to tell you that this is a good thing. This is an admission of failure. If the tariffs were successful, American farmers wouldn't need this. Follow for more.
We are seeing more evidence today that this administration's economic plans just don't work, that the tariffs that Trump keeps imposing are causing real harms to Americans. New reporting out of the AP is stating from an anonymous source that Donald Trump plans to unveil a $12 billion aid package for American farmers later this afternoon. Farmers have been struggling since Trump took over because of the trade war that he's starting. China has been raising tariffs on U.S. imported goods into their country, which hurts U.S. farmers. Some of the biggest markets for U.S. farmers have been places like China. That's where a lot of our soybean production goes to, is to China. And since China is reacting to what Trump is doing and raising tariffs on imports from the United States into their country, it is hurting farmers tremendously. They have been struggling since Donald Trump took over. And this is something that he's done in the past. This is the exact same thing that happened in 2018. He raised tariffs on China, and China retaliated in turn, and it hurt U.S. farmers. So he had to go bail them out. He is trying to pretend like he's solving a problem when he's the reason the problem exists. I'm sure when he talks about it later this afternoon, he's going to go on and on about how the Democrats would never do something like this, and it's all the Democrats' fault because that's the only thing he has. He can't admit that he made a mistake with the tariffs and that they are the reason that American farmers are hurting, so he has to point the blame at somebody else. He always is going to go back to blaming either Biden or the Democrats. But let it not be forgotten that the reason that these farmers are needing a bailout is because of what Donald Trump is doing. And they're not going to get as much as they would if they still had access to those foreign markets. This is the exact same thing that happened in the last term. The bailout that he gave to farmers was not as much as they were making when they had access to those foreign markets. It hurt them detrimentally, even though they were getting money from the government. And this is going to be the exact same thing that happens now. It's going to end up costing the government more to give these farmers enough money so that they can make up the losses that they're having from losing these foreign markets. It's not an effective economic strategy. It's never been an effective economic strategy, and we're just seeing exactly how harmful this economic strategy actually is when he has to do these bailouts like this, because they cannot survive if he does not intervene to mitigate the problem that he created.
Story at night, putting him to bed, and he said, "Daddy, I don't want Santa Claus to come to our house for Christmas. I want President Trump." And I think, Mr. Trump, I think you brought Christmas to farmers. With this bridge payment, we'll be able to farm another year, help us get by. It's such an honor to be here with you.
Man, fuck them farmers. I have to say it again. These people never learn. He has literally stripped you of everything through his own tariffs, and now he's bailing out the biggest welfare queens on this planet. Farmers. They can't make it on their own. They have to be bailed out every few years, and they vote for the man who gives them this crushing punishment and then bails them out. It's such a cyclical cycle of bullshit, and they're so dumb. Yeah, I want Trump to come to my house as Santa. You've made Christmas such a great time. He kicked you in the nuts, you dumbass. They're so busy bootlicking and kissing this man's ass. They are so far up his ass. They don't even understand he is the man who was beating the shit out of them. These farmers cannot pull themselves up by their bootstraps. They cannot survive on their own. They continue to need government interference, and thank the man who drilled them in the nads every time. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you want to call it. You got bailed out, you welfare queen.
Oh my God, American farmers, I mean this with all the love in my heart, but I swear you have Stockholm Syndrome. I'm seeing all these articles this morning about like American farmers thanking Trump for saving them with these bridge payments. Need I remind you that the bridge payments are for the bridge that Trump has burned down? Do you not remember this insane tariff trade war he started with China that has taken China from the largest buyer of U.S. produce or U.S. products such as like pork, dairy, soybeans, from the largest to now virtually non-existent? In 2024, China purchased about $25 billion worth of goods from U.S. agriculture or U.S. farmers. Now, in 2025, they are projected for the entire calendar year to purchase not even $17 billion worth of goods from U.S. farmers. And so now Trump is pledging $12 billion to farmers as bridge payments, about $11 billion going to row crop farmers, with another $1 billion earmarked for like non-row crop farmers or like specialty crops. So we're expected to lose at least $10 billion from China this year. And then Trump's going to come in and take tax dollars, $12 billion worth of tax dollars, 12 billion tax dollars to compensate for that. He literally caused us to lose billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars from China, and now we are paying for it. You and I are paying for it, and we're paying for it twice. First we paid for it in tariffs, and now our tax dollars are paying for the bridge payment. And don't get me started on this immigration policy, how it's almost pretty much crippled the American farm labor. But sure, thank and praise your captor.
Farmers weren't mistreated by China. They were mistreated by Trump. And then he says it wouldn't have been possible to give them bailout money without the tariffs. But the reason prices are depressed is because China stopped buying ag products like soybeans from the United States as retaliation for, wait for it, Trump's tariffs, while at the same time, Trump's tariffs made the costs for things like machinery and fertilizer more expensive for America's farmers. What's the common theme? It's not Biden. I think it's Trump's tariffs. Instead, the president, worried about next year's midterms, dangled a carrot in front of starving farmers, allowing them the opportunity to apply for a one-time bridge payment that will be dispersed by February 28, 2026. Before they can apply, they'll need to make sure that their 2025 acreage reporting is accurate by December 19th at 5 p.m. And then the commodity-specific payment rates will be available by the end of the year. Wouldn't it have been easier for him to just not start a trade war? But then again, I guess he wouldn't be able to fix a problem that he actually caused once again.
Thanks for clicking to watch today's video, and also welcome back to our channel. Trump has brought about one of the biggest political magic tricks in America. He first introduced the tariffs, which crushed the markets of the farmers, and actually it caused many of them to be bankrupt. And right now, he wants to bail them out with the same money that he says was created by the tariffs. And guys, this is just, a person who created the problem and trying to look as if he's providing a solution and expecting a thank you from people. We've prepared this video for you of people reacting to what Trump is doing, bailing those farmers and expecting a thank you. We do not own the rights of the video. They belong to the original owners of the video. Let's dive in and listen to what people have to say. I'll be back with my commentary, so stick around.
Just like in the last Trump administration, farmers are getting a bailout because the industry is not doing very well at all. They are getting a bailout to the tune of $12 billion. $11 billion is going to farmers that produce the big crops like soybeans, corn, etc. And then $1 billion is going to go to farmers who produce things like sugar. And guess who gets to pay for it? The taxpayer! Don't let anyone tell you that this is from the profit they are making off of tariffs. It's not. The money's coming from the USDA, which is funded by tax-paying dollars. Yep, sure is. Not only that, but we're also paying the price of the tariffs because tariffs are imposed on the consumer, right? The buyer has to pay the tariffs for the imported good, and then the buyer takes that extra expense and puts it on the consumer. So yay for us. We get to pay for tariffs and now to bail out farmers because this administration decided to them over. And then to put insult on injury, most of this money is going to go to mega farmers. I've already made several videos about this, how most bailout money goes to mega farmers. It does not go to your small farm, your mom and pop farm, okay? It goes to the big ones who use a lot of government resources. So, yay us. And then if you want to just sprinkle a little something on it, right? This bailout does not solve the bigger issues within the farming industry, which mainly is surrounded by monopolies. Monopolies on equipment that they use for farming, monopolies on the pesticides that they use for farming, and monopolies on the seeds that are used to grow their crop, right? Monopolies are terrible, right? They can drive up their prices. They can price how they want. And so you end up having an extreme increase in cost when it comes to farming. But we're not going to address that. We're just going to say, here's some money, hope it helps. Except we're not going to actually give it to the farms that need it. We're just going to allow it to subsidize already huge billion-dollar farms. So, yay, America!
Look, I don't know how else to explain this without sounding just a little annoyed, but this $12 billion bailout for farmers is literally Trump trying to clean up a mess that he created with his own tariffs. And the wildest part is farmers themselves are already saying this won't even come close to covering what they lost. In the last major farm bailout caused by, Trump's tariff war with China, economists found that farmers lost more than $30 billion in exports, and the aid that they got only covered a fraction of it. And now we're seeing the same exact thing play out again. So let's be super, super clear about this. Trump puts tariffs on foreign goods. Other countries retaliate. American farmers lose their markets. Crop prices drop. Farmers go under. And then what happens? Well, Trump swoops in and, bails them out and acts like he's saving them. That's not leadership, guys. That's just setting your own house on fire and then bragging about grabbing a bucket of water. And the dumbest part is the talking point that this isn't taxpayer money because it comes from tariff revenue. Tariff revenue literally comes from us. Tariffs raise the price of all goods we buy. So they jack up prices on American families, call that revenue, and then use that revenue to bail out farmers for damage that didn't need to happen in the first place. That's not good policy. That's a feedback loop of stupidity. And the world is watching this happen in real time. Other countries can clearly see the cause and effect, as clear as day, by the way. Trump causes the problem. Trump throws money at the problem. Trump pretends he fixed the problem. And somehow, he is still in office. Like, none of this is obvious. It is so fucking insane.
So you've probably heard about this $12 billion, bailout that Trump has offered to farmers. Let's put that into context. In 2025, it's estimated that the farming industry is going to lose about $44 billion because of tariffs that Trump has put out. The historic high or the 10-year historic high for bankruptcies was in 2019 under Trump, which was 599 bankruptcies. Under Biden, it got down to 139. This year, it's expected to go up somewhere to 662, I believe. It's going to go up. So it's going to set the next high since Trump at 599. And he's giving them $12 billion. How the fuck does that help all of the people who have been bankrupt, all these farmers who have been bankrupt, right? He's taken a sledgehammer to the farming industry in 2019, pre-COVID, and now setting a 10-year high with farmer bankruptcies. But he's going to give them $12 billion, which is $8 billion less than what he gave to Argentina, which is a competitor to American farmers. 40 billion. Isn't it 40 billion? $40 billion. But he's going to give farmers in the United States $12 billion, which won't help for jack shit the bankruptcies, the bankrupt farmers who are already out of business, and won't do a hell of a lot for the rest of them. That money goes straight through to the debts that they're owed, which, by the way, are to fewer and fewer companies who have been jacking up prices over the last 10 years as well. So when you hear him come out and say, I'm going to rescue the American farmer and give them $12 billion, that doesn't do jack shit. Like, they wouldn't even need that if it weren't for tariffs. That's a quarter of what he took from farmers. And he's giving back a little to some of them who are still in business after we're about to set another historic high for bankruptcies. Historic high. We got down to 139 under Biden. And he can blame Biden for all of these problems, but it never actually works out where that's the truth, right? It's always Biden's fault as he screws over industry after industry. So, I mean, if you're an American farmer, if you know American farmers, like, let them know. Like, just go look at the damn data. A lot of them already do. A lot of them are pissed right now because it's a slap in the face. There's an article about that, talking to farmers. And these are all red states with red senators and red governors who have supported Trump and everything he's done. They didn't push back on tariffs. They didn't push back, when all these bankruptcies were happening, not even in 2019. Again, 599. They didn't push back then. So if you're an American farmer, like, just be aware that it's the Republican politicians who are taking your damn farms and taking your money. And then where are those farms going, right? Probably to Acre Trader. So JD Vance and the Saudis are making a shit ton of money and probably buying up all these farms. And if you're an investigative reporter or you know about that, like, please let me know. Because where are those farms going? All these bankruptcies. Who are buying those farms? They're putting American farmers out of business. And that is a quantifiable trend. So yeah, American farmers, like, the Republican Party is not the way to go for you.
When Trump introduced the tariff policy, so many farmers applauded it, and in fact they voted for him in huge numbers because of those policies, and they thought that those policies will favor them, as even Trump was saying. And guys, those tariffs, instead of bringing good, they brought even more harm because their markets collapsed, and actually they sold their soybean market to their competitors, and also some of them went bankrupt. Others lost actually their farms, family farms, and so many other things happened to the farmers. Right now, even as we speak, some of them are not farming because of the consequences that those tariffs brought. And guys, right now, Trump wants to bail out those farmers with $12 billion. And that money, he says that is the money that the tariffs, it's the money that was brought about by the tariffs. And remember, he's the one who created that problem. Right now, he wants to solve that problem. And remember, it's not solving it permanently. It's just temporarily. It's just like a peanut, showing the farmers that he's concerned about them, but in reality, he is not, because he's not going to solve their real problems. And right now, he's expecting those farmers to thank him. He's even acting like a superhero. It's like when you start a fire in someone else's home and you bring a bucket of water to put the fire off. Does it really make sense? So guys, those farmers, right now Trump wants a thank you from people. He wants to be seen as the superhero he is, but in real sense, he's not solving their problem. And guys, what do you think? Will this farmer fall to the same trick next time, or they have learned their lesson? Kindly drop your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you on our next video.